Hello, Leo. Welcome to your October 2022 tarot card and astrology reading. All right, Leo. So before we get into the reading for this month, I am actually making a few changes, and I pre-recorded a little bit of an introduction video just to kind of let you know what's going on. So let's go ahead and get into that first. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jane. I am so thrilled to have you here. For the October readings this month, I've done something just a little bit different. So I'm starting to include a new astrology portion to this reading. I feel like that could add so much more value to each and every one of you as you navigate and try to understand how all of this is going down. October is a huge month astrologically. We have a lot of the outer planets starting to move, and we are building up to an eclipse on the 25th. So there's just a lot to really think about and consider. So the timestamp for both the tarot portion and the astrology portion will be found in the description box down below. And this is one of the reasons why I've separated the big monthly video into 12 separate videos instead of just one big long video. And as always, if you are a subscriber, please be sure to log into your account at janeinternational.com, navigate to the blog page, and you'll see all the comprehensives that you've signed up for available there. All right, now with all that being said, let's get into it. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your October reading. So we are going to get started with the King of Coins, which is the card that signifies what the universe needs from you this month. So King of Coins is unbending, unwavering, persevering. He has an incredible stability, and he's not in a position where he wants to bend or give in to anybody else right now. Now, some people may perceive you as being a little bit stubborn, but the reason they may be perceiving you that way is just simply because you're not giving them what they want. But I don't think you can. I don't think you can give people what they want because it may mean sacrificing an aspect of yourself. Now, with Saturn in the 7th house, and it being also Libra season, let's take a look actually what's going on with you, okay? Because Libra season activates your 3rd house. Saturn, which is going direct this month, is in your 7th house, and Mars is in your 11th house. Mars also preparing for a retrograde. Now, all three of these houses, 3, 7, and 11, are all highly social. So it's like there's no doubt in my mind that you are going to be having relational things going on, whether it's with colleagues or siblings or romantic partners or friends or any kind of group that you belong to. And I'm not necessarily seeing you take a leadership role right now, but I don't necessarily see you being the most accommodating, because I think what people may be asking you to do are things that may violate your idea of what you want for yourself. And right now you're not in a position to give up on yourself. You're not willing to come out of alignment. You're not willing to sacrifice certain things. And with death over here in the environment, I think you would be willing to sacrifice some things for the sake of keeping something else or preserving something else, right? The things that you're completely unwilling to give in on, it's like, all right, well, if you don't like it and you have a problem with it and you can't deal with it, then you're going to have to figure out how you're going to handle it, because this thing on my end is not changing. I'm not going to sacrifice my values. I'm not going to sacrifice my beliefs. I'm not going to put my family in danger. I'm not going to do all these things, right? Like, this is on you. Like, this is a you problem, I guess we could say, right? This is a you problem. Because, and you know, I kind of think that Leo's strength and steadfastness is going to force other people to look deep within themselves. Maybe not right away, but at some point, they are going to... I feel like there's like a depth of this moment. Like, something is going to happen. There could be a separation, or there could be a deep conversation, or there could be, certain demands that are made in a connection. And someone is going to need to do some pretty significant soul searching. I don't know that it's necessarily Leo, because I think you've already done a lot of that. And the reason why you are where you are today is because you have done that. And you know who you are. People who don't know who they are, people that aren't aligned, that don't understand their divinity, they are going to have to, I don't want to say cower, because I don't think this is about cowardice and bravery, but it's like, it's clear who is shining bright and it is clear who is dim. You know? You're clearly shining bright. King of Coins. He's like the king of gold. That's a perfect card for Leo. Okay? And here we have the 9 of Wands and then with the star. So on one hand, the King of Coins can also be realistic. Now, not pessimistic, realistic in terms of what is, and realistic as well in terms of what is possible. And I think you have pushed the boundaries of possibility within yourself. You've allowed yourself to dream for something more. And because you do maintain that dream and you would like to preserve that dream, you're going to have to be really cautious, or you are being cautious in terms of who you let into that dream or not. Not everyone is going to make the cut. In fact, very few people are. Now, there will be a few people that do, right? Of course, your children will. If you're married, your spouse will. You know, if there's someone, a best friend, a sibling that you just really get on with really, really well, obviously they will. But anyone else, I don't know, like, I often see this more of being a filter more than it is a guy standing out front keeping guard. It's like there's this filter and only particles of a very high vibration, only souls of a high vibration can really get through. Because, right, when you have a higher vibration, that frequency is just really, really fast. So those can squeak through. But the big ones, the low vibrations, they can't get through. And someone is on the outside looking in of your life. You know, they're on the outside looking in. They're reevaluating things. They're running things back in their mind. They're thinking about things. I'm looking at this Queen of Coins reversed, because clearly King of Coins and a Queen of Coins reversed signify some type of connection. I mean, you're sharing the suit, right? Both of coins, but a Queen of Coins is upside down. There's something lacking, or there's some kind of a fear or some unavailability with that Queen of Coins. And it looks like she's kind of engaging a lot more with the 10 of Swords, because she's looking in that direction rather than looking toward the direction of the star. So this is someone who I think would rather pin themselves down, or would rather keep themselves down rather. And maybe they are perpetuating some kind of a notion, some kind of a narrative that they don't deserve you, or they don't deserve the great things that the two of you could do together. I'm getting this feeling, and I don't quite know why, but I'm getting this feeling that when you look at the Queen of Coins reversed, that you see someone who could be everything for you, who could be side by side with you, who could build something with you, who could be the best partner in any kind of way, right? A really, really great partner. But they just have this stuff, this baggage, you know, they haven't worked through their traumas because they're afraid to, because it is dark. Doing shadow work is hard. Not everyone is cut out for it. And not everyone has to do it in this lifetime, and that's fine. But they do have shadow work that will need to be done eventually in this lifetime or another one. It doesn't matter, but they're going to have to do it at some point. But it is keeping them in this perpetual state of victimhood. Right? They identify with being a victim. They identify with being a martyr. And you're over here being like, why would you ever want that? Why would you want to keep that story alive when we could enjoy this beautiful, infinite, cosmic, purpose-driven life together. This does not have to be romantic, by the way, okay? This could even be like you and your relationship with your parents or something too. But I'm seeing like there's so much possibility here. With Saturn in the 7th, relationships have been very stressed, and many relationships have or are needing to end because they just can't, Saturn in Aquarius by nature is a highly detached period of time when we go through this transit. That's one of the topics that the archetype of Aquarius represents, is detachment. So this is a time where we detach. We even have the card of Aquarius here. This is a time when we detach from our cycles, we detach from our mindsets, or we revert back and repeat, right? It's either we detach or we don't. And if we don't, we got another 30-year cycle ahead of us to help us learn the lessons again. Now we have this Ace of Cups, which suggests, Leo, don't be afraid to step away from something that is a little unhealthy or maybe a lot unhealthy, because there is love on the other side. There is a rebirth in your environment that is imminent because of your unwillingness to sacrifice the potential here. You don't sacrifice on your values. You don't sacrifice on your alignment. You don't sacrifice on your passion. And a path will be given. The Ace of Cups is a promise of fulfillment and peace, a promise of serenity and love and feeling that you belong. So maybe there was a story around this Queen of Coins, but I do think that story is coming to an end. And you have a promising future, and I don't think it's that far off. I don't think this is something that's happening 10 years from now. I think this is something that's happening right around the corner. Maybe within the next few months, maybe within the next year or so. But with Justice in the reverse, there are... I'm kind of looking at the scales. I don't necessarily feel that the scales are imbalanced. I mean, I think whenever Libra season comes around, especially when Venus is there, balance is inevitable or coming into some kind of order. And I think your life is coming into order by way of removal or separation or detachment from this Queen of Coins. That is what happens when your scales need to come back into an equilibrium. And I said this, I think it was Cancer, maybe it was Gemini, one of the other signs I said this for as well, but we don't always have to balance the scales by adding to the scale that doesn't have enough. Sometimes we can balance the scale by taking away from the heavier side of the scale to find that balance. And I think that's what's happening with you, is you're removing some of the heftiness to attain balance instead of adding. But you are really well protected in this process. You're stable, you're good, all is well. I think you feel good about truly releasing this. You feel good about embracing the new love, embracing the new connections, the new friendships, the new ideas and creativity, especially with the Three of Coins. I feel like Leo is totally ready to go with what they're building. It's totally ready to go with their creativity, ready to go with their design. I don't know that you have any doubts right now. Even though maybe you may be going through something challenging, I don't think you have doubt. You're not doubting that you did the right thing. You're not doubting that this is going to work out. It's just a matter of withstanding the transition time, right? Persevering through that. I'm wondering if there was a betrayal. I don't feel like this is self-sabotage stuff. Normally that's what I say with the Seven of Swords. But I don't think it is. I don't think a King of Coins would do that. I don't think a king of coins would stand firm and stand strong and work hard to protect something and then second guess it later on. So this has to be for someone else. A betrayal of someone else, a lie that someone told you. I'm trying to feel it. I'm looking at these 10 of Swords. They're pointing right down here. I think this just is Queen of Coins stuff, just perpetuating again this cycle. And you may have been involved with someone who is in their own cycle. And maybe now you're starting to really see it for what it is. You're really starting to see it like this person's not going to change. It's not going to turn around. It's not going to ever be what it could have been. And I'm not going to waste another second on it. And as Saturn makes his way moving direct again, he officially goes direct on the 23rd of October, which is the same day that Venus and the Sun both enter into Scorpio. And then 2 days later, we have a new moon eclipse in Scorpio. Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me if everyone, but you especially, because this is fourth house activity, this eclipse is in your fourth house. So there's a lot of healing with this. And with Scorpio, it's like healing via destruction or healing via confronting your fears, right? So there is like a true release. Like, I'm never, ever, ever going to repeat this cycle with you again. But I think this person is going to keep going on in their cycle. They're going to keep going on with the way they do things, the way they believe things. Leo doesn't want to have any part of that. You're too busy with this. You're too busy building. And I think in a way, there's a little bit of sadness that you have to watch this person not take control of their lives or watch this person not feel empowered, because I know how you've worked to feel empowered. I know how you have worked on developing a sense of purpose and developing a sense of contribution. And you see how much this person has to contribute, but they don't want to shine in the way you want to shine. And I look at this Eight of Swords, and Eight of Wands, and things are slowing down this month. Mars is slowing down. He's only moving 5 degrees this month. We've got Saturn slowing way, way, way down as he prepares to go direct. We have Pluto going direct on the 8th as well. Things are turning around, but they are turning around slowly. Your decisions are deliberate and intentional and purposeful. They're not haphazard or ignorant, like there's a high quality intelligence coming through you right now, because that's what the star represents, right? It's this cosmic intelligence that is using your body as a vessel. And I like the coin cards because the coins have the star on them. Right? All the coins have the star. So it's like, are you channeling the cosmic energy or not? And if you shut down that cosmic channel, the way a Queen of Coins seemed to have shut that down, you're not going to feel good, and life is going to be really hard. And it seems like you don't want your life to be hard. No one does. No one wants their life to be hard. No one wants the strife and the struggle. And I think you found a way to a degree. I'm not saying your life is going to be completely devoid of contrast. You will still always have contrast, but it doesn't need to be problematic contrast. Clearly, this person has just made up a lot of things in their head. Right? If these were reversed, I'd feel a lot better about it, but they're not. They're upright. So this is someone who has a pattern of thought, and they're not in the process of letting go. They're not in the process of waking up in the way that you are. They're not in the process of healing the way you are. So sometimes you just need to acknowledge that you're not running in parallel paths and move on. Ace of Cups. You'll find that new connection. You'll find that new whatever you need. Not a doubt in my mind, okay? So let's go ahead and pull out the clarifier. So for those of you who are new here, stay with me. I'm about to say a lot of things. So the cards I'm about to pull out are the cards we will cover in the comprehensive reading. The link for that will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about these cards, so you usually get like another full reading, basically. And there are different ways to purchase. You can do a single one-time purchase, or you can subscribe, and there are different subscription levels, so you can check that out. If you do subscribe, all subscribers also get access to a weekly extended and a weekly love extended reading. So that's published on Mondays and also on Fridays. Okay, let's take a look here at the King of Coins. What else does Leo need to know about the King of Coins? Beautiful. 10 of Coins. Yeah, you're not about to trade your 10 of Coins for their 10 of Swords. That would be a very bad deal. If you've been on that roller coaster for a while and you've decided to get off that roller coaster, I think that's the best decision. So again, you don't need to be questioning that in any way. You don't need to have doubt that it was the right thing to do. Page of Wands. Okay. So now let's start with the 9 of Wands here. Ace of Coins. Why am I feeling like someone's trying to sneak one by you or sneak through that filter somehow? Getting a sneaky vibe from that Page of Cups. Ace of Swords. Queen of Coins. And the Hermit. Okay, hold on. All right, now for the Queen of Coins. Seven of Cups. See, no, swords. I knew those swords belonged to the Queen of Coins. I just knew it. I knew it wasn't you. Tower, yeah. Two of Swords reversed. Yeah, they're not happy about this situation, but you can't sacrifice your prosperity. It's not worth it. Another an Ace of Cups on top of an Ace of Cups with the World card. That Ace of Cups is really exciting. So, Hanged Man. Yeah, nothing fast this month. Nothing speedy. Hold on, my nose itches. There we go. Another Six of Wands. We love the card of victory and success. Hold on, I'm just going to take the top two because those were the ones I saw, or rather top three, I guess. So we got King of Swords, Six of Cups, and Strength. Or wait. What just happened? What's going on? I don't even remember what happened. Okay. I don't know if I actually picked up some cards or if I was really shuffling for justice. I guess my mind just checked out. Four of Swords. Yeah, see, wasn't that on top of the Justice card? Something really weird just happened. My mind is not registering what happened. I'm sure you as a viewer know exactly what I just did that was weird. I'm sorry about that. I guess it just is. Maybe it was supposed to be like that. I don't really know. We'll just roll with it. Okay. Another Three of Wands. I like that a lot. This is a card of wealth and prosperity. For the Eight of Wands reversed. Okay. I guess this is where we'll pick up in the comprehensive. So again, all the information in the description box and the comment thread down below. All right. Thank you all so much. You know I love and adore you. Have a great October, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Leo. Welcome to the astrology portion of this reading. So this is the first time that I'm doing this for the monthlies. I figured that since I reference the stars so often in the tarot card portion, that maybe having a little visual would be helpful for some. So let me know if you guys like this. And if you do, then I'll probably keep doing it every month. If not, then I will stop. But just let me know, okay? All right, so October is a huge month, so let's get into this. October is a big month. We've got a lot of transitions and changes happening. So let's start with the fact that it is Libra season, okay? Yes, the sun, your ruling planet, is now in Libra, which means it's in its fall position, right? Because the sun is exalted over in Aries, and then it's in fall in that opposite, which is Libra. So the sun is not necessarily in his strongest place. In fact, actually in the scoring, here we have the sun right here. It's listed at a -9, which is a very weak score, okay? But we have Venus in her rulership in Libra, so she's very, very strong. Also, Mercury is in rulership, also very strong. And so Venus is here to really help us to establish order, because I do think that Leo season, Virgo season especially, both of those were particularly chaotic. There was just a lot going on. Mars was coming into Gemini. There was a lot of mercurial energy at the time of Virgo season at the end of August. And there was just like a lot of transition and very little permanence with things going on. And so with all of the shifting and changing and all of the weirdness that came about, now Libra comes in and says, okay, we need to take this chaotic situation, whatever it is, and we need to streamline it, and we need to set things up in a more logical, logistical, intelligent way that is rooted in our wisdom and not reactive to the circumstances, all right? Libra can be a highly wise place. And for you, this is your third house activation. So there is a lot of intellectual activity going on for Leo right now. You're really thinking about a lot of things. You are strategizing, and actually you are very well supported in those efforts. So when you're thinking about your future, you're thinking about where things are going, where things are headed, especially because Jupiter is over here in the 9th house. And he is, really wanting all sorts of expansion, not only expansion of yourself, but expansion of all of your endeavors, your spiritual endeavors, and your materialistic endeavors as well. So you get kind of a double whammy with Jupiter. I love Jupiter, right? We all love Jupiter because he's just all about more. And when that's positive in our lives, we can align ourselves to receive more. Now, obviously, it can have a negative aspect as well, but we're not going to focus on that today. We're just going to focus on keeping our energy toward good, wholesome, moral endeavors that enrich our lives, both spiritually and materialistically, okay? So Libra is fantastic for this process of getting things. Now, a lot of organization happened throughout Virgo season, but Libra is really here to streamline it, okay? It's here to, now, I'm not saying everything is perfectly balanced. That's not really what Libra is. Libra is about establishing balance, coming into that, coming into order, but it's not necessarily about always being like this. all right? And you may find yourself being a little bit more discerning with a lot of things. Think Queen of Swords energy, right? Being very discerning. And I'm kind of even envisioning, like a group of people around like a conference room table or a boardroom, or if you want to go like tribal with it, like a chief with like a tribe or, whatever the situation is. But you have the main person in charge who's not saying anything, right? That main person in charge is allowing everyone to say what they think first. And then rooted in all the information, then that leader can then make good, like the absolute best decision. Because if the leader comes in and starts just talking and telling everyone what to do, they may not be operating from a well-explored perspective, right? So I do feel like Leo is getting a little bit quiet right now in terms of how they are interacting with people. They're getting a little on the more observant side, which I think is good, because you're not like projecting that you know the best for everything. All you know is that you're wanting expansion, and you're also wanting the best possible methods for that expansion. Okay? And Libra is here to help you to make those discernments, which is great. I love what's happening for Leo. Okay? Now, a couple little things happening at the beginning of the month. All right, we got Mercury going direct. It will enter into Libra on the 10th. We have a full moon conjunct Chiron in the 9th house on the 9th of October. But I think, that full moon is going to be a strong full moon. There may be some fears that surface in terms of, am I really going to be able to do this? That should only last a couple of days. I don't know that that's going to be like a huge deal type of full moon. The real big deal full moon is going to be the one in November, which is conjunct Uranus, and it's going to be an eclipse. That's going to be a big one. But this is kind of preparatory. And it does have a lot to do with believing in yourself and the new identity that you are creating for yourself as well. So full moon on the 9th, on the 8th, right? So we have Pluto going direct on October 8th. We have the full moon on the 9th, and then we have Mercury going direct moving into Libra on the 10th. Okay, so 8th, 9th, and 10th, couple of little events. Pluto moving direct is a bigger event. Now, I'm kind of hitting this pretty hard because Pluto is now officially making its way into Aquarius for the first time in like 250 years. So this is a big deal. It's not happening this month, though. That's why I'm not saying it's so massive, but it is, and it is opening up a new chapter. Now, we know that Pluto will go into Aquarius and then retrograde back into Capricorn and then come back into Aquarius in 2024. But still, this is like his last hurrah through Capricorn. And it's going to be, I don't know, I think there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff that happens, especially politically, especially in the United States, because we would just had an election, like we're moving into an election. And actually in October, it's all preparation for that midterm election. So with Pluto going direct, Saturn going direct, Mars going retrograde, the eclipse, everything, it's just like a crazy month for an election. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but yes, Pluto is making his way into Aquarius, and he's truly opening up an entirely new 20-year chapter in our lives. Because I think if we think back to 2008, which is when Pluto entered into Capricorn, first of all, I know how hard you've worked, Leo. I know how hard you've worked. This is Capricorn energy. I know how determined you were to use the energy and the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience that you've acquired, and you've acquired even more over the past 15 years, in order to leverage that, in order to enhance and to enrich your lives. And you may have had a lot of reinvention in that area. Some of you may have had very difficult health things. Some of you may have had very challenging relationships with not necessarily romantic people, but any adversarial types of people, because a lot of enemies come through in the 6th house. So, you may have had just a lot of that, but now Pluto comes into the 7th and it's kind of clearing that up. Well, I mean, we all have Pluto going through somewhere. He's not always the best. He can be great, but he's not always the best. But he is coming into your 7th house and he's creating new opportunities for you in your relationships. Saturn, which may have made that particular area of your life quite challenging the past couple of years, now he is officially moving direct on the 23rd, and he's going to be moving into Pisces next March, right? So Pluto comes into Aquarius and Saturn comes into Pisces next March. But in October, this is the month that turns everything around, or begins the process of everything turning around. Because at the same time, we have Saturn going direct on the 23rd. On that same day, October 23rd, the Sun and Venus conjunct, meaning they're exactly together, both move into Scorpio, which is going to be 4th house cusp activation. And then 2 days later, on the 25th, we have the new moon eclipse in Scorpio. All right, and that's going to be 4th house new moon eclipse energy. And then Jupiter moves back into Pisces, and then Mars goes retrograde. So that last week and a half, it's going to be like, what the heck is even happening? And yes, we will see probably some political stuff here in the US. Those of you who aren't, you may see some interesting things happening in your countries as well. But in your own lives, it can be like all of a sudden things just start turning on a dime. And where there had been a lot of question marks and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of frustration and a lot of movement, all of a sudden things start really, I'm not going to say it's going to happen overnight, but there is kind of like this week and a half period where, yes, it may be chaotic, but after that, as we make our way to the full moon eclipse on November 8th in Taurus, as we make our way toward that, things are going to start really lining up, because they have to, right? They have to line up because a new era is opening. Okay. Now this new moon eclipse happening in your 4th house. Now new moons, as we know, are really about the creative cycle. It's about bringing in new things. Now a lot of people will say, don't do manifestations during eclipses. I'm going to do a video about this because I highly disagree with that notion. You just have to understand how to really use them. Manifesting and setting intentions during eclipse season, first of all, they can be highly destructive, especially because this one is happening in Scorpio, in the Plutonic or Mars with traditional rulerships, Deacon, which is the first 10 degrees of Scorpio. And that's why a lot of people will be like, don't do it. This is terrible. This is awful. Don't do it. But if you want things to change quickly, it probably is a really good time to set those intentions, but the way it's going to come about will likely be highly destructive. So if you can't handle the destruction, probably best to sit this one out, okay? But if you can, or if you are ready for something to fall to pieces, then by all means, embrace this one 100%, okay? And if you also are okay with setting much, much longer term intentions, right? Think 18 years from now, when the nodes come back into these particular positions, 18 and a half years from now, if you're okay with like decades or like 1 decade or 2 decades long intentions, then by all means, utilize this eclipse. For you, 4th house, this does have a lot to do with your home and family and where you came from. Some of you may have aspects of your past that you do want to not eliminate, but to heal from. So this could be a healing eclipse for you. But again, initiating a healing cycle in a Plutonic energy can be chaotic and disruptive, but it will likely be highly effective as well. So don't be surprised if things go awry, but then straighten themselves out later on and you're like, oh, okay, that's why that had to happen, right? That's why. I think a lot of people are going to sit this one out though. A lot of people get scared with Scorpio energy. I personally don't. This eclipse is happening exactly on my Pluto. So I don't know, I'm probably personally going to really embrace that one against many people's advice. But just with what I've gone through the past couple of years and what I've experienced and how I've been playing and practicing with eclipses, I've learned a lot, and I've really learned how they work for me anyway. I'm going to make a video about it throughout October, so just FYI, keep your eyes open for that. But yeah, anyway, this is happening in the 4th house and then your 10th house for the full moon, which we'll talk more about next month. But this does have a lot to do with your more private life versus your more public life as well. You may be actually leaning in toward a lot more privacy with certain things. You may not be sharing things as much as you normally would. Especially as Scorpio season is active, you're just really wanting to keep to yourself, really wanting to keep things private and therefore intact, almost as though exposure of any kind may be a threat to the longevity of something. And that's fine. It will likely come out through 5th house and maybe even like 9th house Aries season next year, fire seasons, right? Sag and Aries. If it has to happen next year or in December, fine. I'm sure you can deal with that. Okay? All right, Leo. I'm going to leave you with that. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful. We'll talk a little bit more about the Mars retrograde next month as well, because I'll likely have the videos published before that happens on the 30th. So keep your eyes open for next month's video too. All right. Thank you so much. You guys know I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.